Camp wanna.
We hold you in our hearts.
And when we think about you, it makes me wanna fart.
Hey guys, Ralph here from the In-Game Investor, and today I've got my son, Fry Farber, with me to discuss an emergent monetary system that existed or still exists at his camp in the United States. We won't tell anybody which one, so we don't have any stalkers trying to take him for ransom for gold or silver. But anyway, he's going to tell us about his time at camp and a monetary system that just came into existence based on a commodity. We're going to ask some questions. And from there, we're going to try to figure out, where does money come from? Is it a thing or is it a point system? And the answer is it's a thing. We're going to see that now with Fry's story. So, Fry, how you doing? And what do you do for a living?
Nothing.
But existing is basically all I do.
Okay, how old are you?
12.
You sure?
Yes.
How do you know?
You
I could be lying to you.
could?
Yeah. I mean, you were there, but you didn't know anything at the time.
Yeah.
We could have had a home birth and then locked you in the attic for like a month, and then only told the government a month later that you existed. We didn't do that though.
Yeah, I know.
You don't know. You just have to trust me.
Yeah.
When you look this good, you don't have to know anything.
Okay. So, how were goods and services between the campers apportioned in your camp? How did it happen? Just describe it, and I'll ask you questions as you describe it.
I don't know. When I got there, they started calling pieces of candy aunties, and then
Okay.
they started playing poker on them.
Okay.
And they also used them to get people to do stuff.
So pieces of candy,
Yes.
just like M&Ms, like what?
Like bubble gum and Tootsie Rolls. And there's like bigger pieces that are worth like 2 or 3.
2 or 3 what?
Whatever they call it, aunties.
Okay. So were there all kinds of different candies, or were there only like several kind that were accepted?
No, any candies accepted.
Any candies accepted?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else besides candies?
Yeah, like snacks.
Snacks? I heard did you say they were bracelets or something, or
Yeah,
discounted?
they don't play on bracelets though. They just trade them.
Just trade them. Okay.
Yeah.
So why can't you use dollars?
Because they take your dollars at the start of camp and you're not allowed to bet on dollars.
Shut up and take my money.
We're not allowed to bet on dollars, but
Yeah.
so you bet on candies instead.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, who determined prices?
Whoever you're playing with.
Okay, so there was no central authority from above saying
Yeah.
the price of this is that, the price of this is that. It just
Yeah.
kind of developed from the bottom up.
Yeah. People change it all the time.
Okay, so prices were constantly floating, they were changing. What do you think would have happened if prices were dictated from above? What would have happened to the market? I mean, think it through.
If they went up.
No, if somebody at camp said this is going to be the price of all these things, and had a list of like the prices of everything, and they couldn't change, what do you think would happen?
That they decide if it's fair or not.
Okay, who decides if it's fair?
The people who play. They'll either decide to keep their candy because they don't think it's worth that much, or they think it is and they'll play on it.
Okay, so you're saying if somebody dictated the prices of whatever service or trade or whatever from above, then if whoever was going to make that trade decided the price was too high, then he wouldn't buy the thing. And if he thought the price was too low, he wouldn't sell the thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're saying if someone tried to dictate prices from above, it just wouldn't work. You'd go back to the free market anyway.
Some
Okay.
people, they keep candy that they like because they think it's worth too little.
Okay.
They think that people make it worth too little, so they keep it.
Okay, so in other words, I think we described as Gresham's law. You know Gresham's law?
No.
Okay, Gresham's law says that if you have an undervalued money and an overvalued money, people are going to use the overvalued money. They're going to circulate that and they're going to hoard the undervalued money.
Yeah.
That's why you don't see gold and silver circulating in the economy. So the same way, if
Mhm.
you have a candy that people deem is worth more than its trade value, they won't spend it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Gresham's law operating in this camp. We also have free market prices operating in this camp. Um, and you described something to Ema about what happened at the end.
Yeah.
So just tell us about that. At the end of camp, tell us when this started and what you saw happen to prices as the end of camp approached.
Um, People, they care about candy less because they know on the last day of camp they're gonna get rid of it. They don't bring it home. So, like, they trade it for stuff like before camp, and then on the last day of camp, they just give candy to whoever wants it or throw it out, and it's worth nothing.
Okay, so do you know another word for that?
Inflation.
Hyperinflation. Yeah. So people ask me a lot. They say, Rafi, the government's going to force central bank digital currencies. You know what those are? Or the idea of them?
Mm.
So it's like Bitcoin. It's going to be like a programmable dollar, and the government's going to say you have to spend it by June 30th, 2012,
Yeah.
or else it's going to be worthless. So that's the same situation as you had in camp,
Mhm.
where as you approach that end day, the currency gets worth less and less and less. Did you notice that as you approach the end of camp, as camp got later and later, were prices going up in candy terms?
Yeah, like let's say a bag of beef jerky, it's
Uh-huh.
usually worth like 50 at the start of camp, and then people were offering like 300 at the end of camp.
Okay, was it like 51 day and 300, or did prices gradually increase as like do you remember?
No, it was usually just 50, and then like yeah, it started going up a bit, and then like at the last day of camp, like no one would even trade for it. But like at the last few days, it was worth like 300.
Well, that's hyperinflation for you. Um, so we have here a monetary system that is based on a commodity, which is candy.
Mm-hmm.
Some candies are better than others, or some candies are more highly valued than others.
Mm-hmm.
And some candies are considered to be undervalued, and therefore they are not traded, they're hoarded. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
people want to eat them. Did people ever
Yeah.
eat any of the candies?
Yes, the ones that are good.
Okay, so they ate the best ones and they left the ones that nobody liked for trade. That's what
Mhm.
you're saying?
Yes.
That's exactly Gresham's law. That's what happens in every monetary system. Um, so do you have any idea how this started, how old the system is?
No, it's definitely a lot before I came here, like 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago was my first year,
Mhm.
and I don't know, it was definitely not new.
Okay, so this has been going on. Did you hear any stories or any tales? Maybe they're true, maybe they're not, about
No,
who started this,
no,
whose idea it was?
no.
No. Okay. So you know what that suggests to me? That it wasn't one person.
Yeah, I probably wasn't.
Because if it was one person, there'd be some kind of a midrash or legend about him or something like that, and I got it to, but there isn't. So what this suggests is that it's an emergent property of human society that in a society where you have people and goods and services, they're going to find the most liquid commodity, which is in your case the candy, to
Mm,
trade. Because what like the candy, it's not perfectly liquid. There's some that are better than others. There's some that are overvalued under. It's not perfectly like a dollar is a dollar is a dollar, which it
mm,
isn't, or an ounce is an ounce is an ounce. Even among gold, you have coins that are more trusted, coins that are less trusted, and things. And nothing's perfectly liquid, but the candy was probably the most liquid thing that the campers could come up with.
mhm.
Now, what do you think would happen if somebody at the camp said, "We're not going to use candy anymore. Let's just use the tickets, and I'll give everyone tickets, and you can use those, and you don't have to use candy." Do you think that would work?
I no, I don't think so because in camp, like the whole point is like the candy because you could eat it. And like tickets out of camp, they're worth nothing, but dollars out of camp are still worth something.
Okay.
Like,
So you're saying that the money itself has to have value outside of what you can trade for it.
Yeah, because outside of camp, candy is still candy,
Okay, yeah.
and you
So
can still eat it.
right, so it has value outside of its exchange value. It has value because you can eat the candy.
Hmm.
Um, now, if somebody wanted to enforce a ticket system, how could it be done? Because we do see that there's a dollar, we see that there's a shekel, so there's these tickets that are circulating in this country. In the United States, it's the dollar. Here, it's the shekel. In China, it's the yuan. Whatever. There's always these paper tickets or even digital tickets that you can't do anything with them.
Hmm.
How that happen somehow? So, if it was going to happen in camp, how would it be possible? Can you think of a way?
No.
Okay, well, what if here's an idea. Somebody at camp, let's say he has a lot of guns.
Lots of guns.
No one has ever done anything like this.
That's why it's going to work.
Hmm.
Right? And he says, "Give me your candy. Everybody give me your candy right now, or I'll kill you." And instead of the candy, here's tickets that represent the candy.
Mm.
And none of the counselors stopped him. And let's say they were all in on it.
Okay,
Do you think the tickets would be able to trade?
maybe. Like with some people and with some people not.
Who not?
People like who don't, I don't know.
When you look this good, you don't have to know anything.
Like it's the same with bracelets. Bracelets, they're just like plastic or whatever. And like some people don't care about them, and some people like will give anything for them.
Okay, but some people value them.
Yes.
But I'm saying let's say this one kid, he threatens everybody and the counselors are in on it and the staff is in on it and everybody gives them his candy. He has a monopoly on all the candy.
Yeah.
And he doesn't allow any other candy to come into the camp.
Mm.
Right? And then he just gives everyone tickets. If you have 50 candies, he gives you 50 tickets. If you have 100 candies, he gives you 100 tickets. And then the tickets start trading. So in that situation, it probably could work. But then what do you think would happen if that's the situation?
Um,
What happens next?
oh, people might start playing on them because they're bored and they want to play poker. And people might just throw them out or give them to people and try to get good stuff out of people who care about them.
Okay. What about the guy who prints the tickets? What do you think he would do?
I don't know.
If you had the power to print a bunch of tickets and buy things with them, what would you do with that?
Buy things. I don't know. I I
What,
wouldn't want to just print tickets.
you would just print more tickets?
No, I wouldn't want like
Why not?
because
I mean, if you held a gun to everybody's head and said, "Give me your candy and I'll give you tickets," why wouldn't you print more tickets? Let's say you were that kind of guy.
oh, if I was that kind of guy, then I'd print more tickets and trade for stuff and try to get stuff out of it.
Okay, well, let's say you did that. And then like you'd be the richest person in camp.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen to prices of things in terms of the tickets that you gave to everyone on threat of death?
Uh, if I made more, they'd go down, and if I stopped making them, they'd go up because they'd start ripping and get rarer.
Right? That's true. If, let's say you just kept printing more and more and more, and then you became the richest person in camp, you had all the stuff, and everyone else was like really dirt poor and starving, right? What do you think would happen then
Um,
to the tickets?
they'd become worthless, and they'd try to find a new like thing they could play on. And
Really, they become worthless.
yes,
Okay, how does that happen? How do they become worthless? Why?
because I make too much because of inflation.
Right? So you're saying you print too much tickets, you have so much stuff because you keep printing them and buying things. And let's say you buy everything and nobody has anything. So
Mhm.
then if they don't have anything, what do they need tickets for?
Um, so that they have something to trade with.
But they can't trade anything. They don't have anything. You took it all.
Oh, don't know.
Yeah. Okay. So the point I'm making is if we have dollars, we have shekels, we have yen, we have euros, right? And the central banks, basically, let's say the whole world is a camp or a country is a camp,
Yeah.
and the central bank said, "Give me all of your gold and silver, or I'll kill you, and here's tickets." And then they start printing more tickets,
Mhm.
and then people get poorer. But the people of the central bank and whoever really the people the central bank gives the tickets to first,
Yeah.
they're the ones who have the most stuff. Everyone else gets poorer and poorer and poorer, and prices go higher and higher and higher. At some point in that cycle, the people of the central bank and their allies have so much stuff, and the people have so little stuff that the people get angry and they kill everyone in the central bank and whoever the central bank gives the tickets to.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating that. I'm just saying that tends to be what happens historically. So what I think happened in your camp is that it was an emergent property, a monetary system started, and we see from this example that a monetary system that has a programmed expiration date, like your camp,
Yeah.
ends in hyperinflation every time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so what do you say to the people that are worried about programmable government currency that has an expiration date?
Um, I don't know. The people, what does that mean?
Let's say the government says you have to spend your dollars by 2028 or they'll all be worthless.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think happens after 2028?
Uh, people like the dollar becomes like whatever was the dollar becomes worthless.
Yeah, and then what do people trade?
I don't know. The new dollars because once they expired, they make new dollars.
Okay, so let's take this back a second. We said that in the camp, right?
Yeah.
How would somebody be able to monopolize the system and start making people trade for tickets? He'd have to first take all the candy.
Yeah.
And then let's say his ticket system hyperinflated. Well, could he then say, well, here's a new ticket, a new system, and start again? Do you think that could possibly work? Like, how would people have already determined the prices of everything are infinite in terms of the ticket system that he broke? So then why would a new one be any different?
Yeah, they wouldn't accept it because it would just happen again and they'd want to go back to candy.
Exactly. They'd want to go back to candy. They'd need a commodity to base prices off of.
Mm-hmm.
And why is that? It's because money is not a point system. It's a thing. The point system can be based on the thing if you deposit the thing with the bank or whoever issues tickets, and then he says, I'll give you a ticket for each thing. Well, then you have the ticket, but it's representative of the thing, which is the money. So what you're saying is that after hyperinflation, or if the government said you can use dollars until 2028 when it's going to expire, well, after that, you can't have a new dollar.
Mm-hmm.
Because the new dollar would have to be based on the old dollar, because the old dollar is based on gold. It has to be based on something, or something that is based on something, or something that's based on something that's based on something. Right? You can't just create a new system out of nothing because it just doesn't work. And just like, let's say, a guy in camp, without trying to kill people and without taking their candy, said, well, instead of candy, just use my tickets. Well, nobody would listen to him because they have candy. Why would they need somebody's tickets? Unless he takes all the candy and forces you to use them. All right. So we have dissected the camp monetary system. It's basically the same thing that us humans use in the adult world. And if we are to use a ticket system, it would have to be based on violence and threats. And it would ultimately have to be derivative of the most liquid commodity in the economy, which in our case is gold and silver. In the case of a sleepaway camp is candy. In the case of a prison is tins of mackerel or cigarettes or whatever it might be. Money is a thing. It's not a point system. Hyperinflation ends it all. Gresham's law exists, even in a camp of children. And there you have it, folks, a monetary system. Thanks, Fry, for enlightening us.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And we're all here to learn, to grow, and to just plain have fun!
Because that's what being privileged is all about!